Hi, my name is Emily Ewing, joined by the wonderful Carol Hodge for Ewing and Hodge Chat. Our guest today is certainly carving her own way in the music industry, an incredible artist who isn't defined by genre or industry standards, a distinctive voice and music that really has caught the attention of audiences and producers internationally, co-written and featured on a large number of dance tracks. She also speaks several different languages, which means she's released singles in Greek and Spanish, a true light for independent artists. It's Natalie Miranda!
Hey!
uh, hello.
Hello.
But before we jump into our chat, I've got to say that I absolutely love Back to Life. It's such a fantastic song, it's such an earworm. I woke up the other day singing the chorus. It's such a phenomenal pop song. If anyone could write a perfect pop song, it really is the definition of that. So.
Thank you.
But of course, I've got to ask, what inspired you to start making music, and if you remember the first song that you ever wrote.
I've always had music around me in my house. I mean, my mum is a huge music fan and she used to play all kinds of music, so ranging from Whitney to Greek music. I should point out I am Greek, that's why there's Greek music in the household. But everything basically, and I grew up around that, and I knew that music was something I always wanted to do. I started writing lyrics and melodies when I was about 8 or 9. I started piano lessons when I was about 6, so it all kind of sort of drew together. And I'm inspired by lots of different things. So personal experiences, things my friends or family have been through, things I see around me, movies, loads of different things. Anything that just really piques my interest, I will pick up a pen and just start writing about it. So yeah.
I mean, do you ever use your process when you write songs?
It's usually a lyric and a melody that will come at the same time, and then I have to stop everything and just write the whole song. For example, my song Battle Scars was inspired by something my friend said on Facebook. He just wrote, I cried a river and I built a bridge. And I was like, oh, that's quite cool. So I took that and I expanded upon that idea. And then in about half an hour, I'd written the lyrics and the melody. So it's things, when that usually happens, it's great because I can just then go to my producer and who's also my co-writer, and he'll put the music to it. But there's also other processes. For example, with a lot of the dance work I've done, a producer will send me a completed backing track, and they're then looking for a top line in a particular style, whether it's 90s, 80s, whatever, and they might have a particular theme, and then I have to obviously write to spec. So it just really depends on the situation.
Nice. I've had that a few times, the seeing a line that somebody's put on a social media post and just being like, ooh, that's sparked an idea.
I know. It's quite handy.
It is interesting where inspiration comes from, isn't it? Because sometimes it is, how people also write very differently. Sometimes when I've written songs, it's just a title can spark a whole theme of stuff, and there's no real formula.
Absolutely.
But some people do stick to a rigid kind of way they write, but
yeah,
it's nice to hear your process.
Do you have a routine, Natalie? Do you get up on a Monday and do you write for 3 hours, or is your schedule quite sort of varied?
It's varied. I find that unless I'm writing for a house or dance producers that need something in a specific sort of period of time, for my own music, I can't sort of sit down and go, okay, I'm going to write a song now. I find I really need to be inspired by something. I need to have some kind of a spark in order for me to write something for my own stuff. I find that's how I've always worked. I mean, there have been times when I've written 3 songs in one day. However, it's quite rare. I prefer to just kind of do it as and when I feel it's there kind of thing, so that it's more natural for me.
Yeah. Of course, I've got to ask you about social media. I follow you on TikTok and Instagram. For obviously independent artists, social media is a huge part of self-promotion. It's almost like we have to Now, in many ways, there's a beauty of it because we can reach more people than we ever have. But also, I've seen a number of musicians say that they're almost promoting themselves to please the algorithm rather than creating, and just wanted your view on, well, pros and cons, and if you have a main form of that you enjoy doing.
Absolutely. Okay, so I kind of have a love-hate relationship with social media because before sort of 2020, I was on it for sure. I was on all the platforms, but I was, I had a job at the time as well, so I wasn't really focusing all my attention on it. And then 2020 came, and I kind of thought, well, now I'm going to go headfirst into social media. And I didn't really know. I still don't really know where I fit in with it because I'm not the kind of person that likes to sort of just do a video for no reason. I like to do videos if I've got a song coming out, or if I've maybe got some gigs, or if a song has come out, I will promote the song itself. But I don't like to just do things for the sake of it. And TikTok especially was a very new platform for me. And I joined it. I had another account to begin with, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I was copying other people. I wanted to go viral desperately because I thought that was really important. And I was, doing all the silly dance routines, and I would put like a whole face of makeup on to do like a 30-second video. And I just thought, after a few months, I was like, this is crazy. This is not me, first of all. So I closed the account. I opened up the one that you see now, and I'm literally myself on there. And if I don't post every day, I don't care. I have to have some time away from the phone. I mean, it's just, I find it really stresses me out. So I have to kind of just do it, again, similar to songwriting. I have to do it when it feels kind of natural to me. And I think it is great because obviously, I mean, we connected through social media. I've connected with so many producers and artists, especially in the last 3 years through it. But I think there needs to be a balance because, especially with things like live streaming, I was doing 2 TikToks a week, 1 Instagram live a week, 1 Facebook live a week, as well as the other platforms that I stream on. And it just got too much. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm constantly on show. And I'm not actually getting anything for this. They're all free live streams, And something had to give. So I was just like, okay, look, doing all these live streams isn't really going to give me anything in return. So I've stopped. I haven't done any TikTok or Instagram live streams in nearly, 2 years. And I feel for me, the most important thing is the music and, the art, whatever that may be for you. I need that time to make the music and then make the video and then, do the promotion and stuff like that. So it is definitely a double-edged sword because it's so useful for us as artists, but you have to know how to balance it for sure.
It's so funny, isn't it? I mean, Emily and I are both similar. We both, live as musicians, artists, songwriters, and the amount of stuff you have to do that doesn't involve writing or rehearsing or performing, it always seems to overtake what your actual art form is. I mean, I'm very similar. I'm kind of like, I spend more time than I should on social media, like, posting and then replying to things and feeling like I need to, reply in a certain space of time and all that kind of thing. And it does take over. But as you say, you don't get anything from it sort of materially. I mean, obviously you're connecting with people. That's massively important. So I was interested in how, if it's not a rude question to ask, but it's, we're all from the same sort of similar world. How do you actually make a living? Where does your sort of income come from?
So since I quit my job at the end of 2020, I went sort of full speed into music, and I've been live streaming since the beginning of 21 on a couple of platforms. Am I allowed to say their names? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some podcasts are a bit funny. There's Stage It, which is an American platform, and also Lounges TV, which is a UK platform. And those 2 platforms, particularly Stage It, which I've been on for nearly 3 years, I've been able to make a nice income from that because the events are ticketed, and then people tip on top of that as well. So I mean, it's not like a crazy figure, but it's enough to, like, I bought a MacBook Pro with a year's earnings, you know, that kind of thing, and it's allowed me to do things like that. I have Patreon as well, so that's a bit of income coming from there. Session work I do a lot as well. The odd translation job here and there as well, kind of just sort of ad hoc things. It's just a whole variety of things, but I feel like I couldn't go back unless I really have to. I couldn't go back to those 9 to 5 office jobs. I mean, it was just soul draining completely.
It's amazing, and it's really inspiring. Like I said in the intro, like, you're a real light for independent artists. You work really, really hard, and you see that in your content. But no, it's incredible. I mean, if you could go back, would you have any advice for your younger self before getting into music? That question.
That's a good question, actually. I don't think I would have told myself not to do it, but I think I would have told myself to be more confident about it and be more confident within myself and my decisions and my abilities as well, for sure. I still suffer with that. I'm still very, very hard on myself, and I'm quite negative when it comes to my craft, which I think we all are at some time. But I would say, you know, just, you've got that dream, just go for it and don't doubt yourself. But do it if you want to do it.
I was going to also ask you, because you did do a video, Algorithm, obviously you can sometimes see things like a few days later, but I think it might have been in your stories. You were telling how you just don't feel like there's space for being an independent artist anymore. Do you remember which video I'm referring to? You felt like
No.
Like success wouldn't be how you would have defined it a couple of years ago for yourself.
Oh, I think I've done probably quite a few videos like that, but I think I know, yeah. That is something that I talk about a lot, because I feel, you know, I think what I grew up thinking of as successful was, you know, doing a world tour, selling loads of CDs, you know, having fan mail or whatever it might, things like that. And the industry's changed so much. We don't have sort of legacy artists anymore. I feel like artists are really dispensable, particularly on platforms like TikTok. You know, someone will go viral, whatever that means. Their song is everywhere, and then in 2 months they're gone, you know. And that's not my kind of idea. That wasn't what I grew up with. I wanted that crazy kind of fame. I wanted the tours and the magazines and the this and the that, and that doesn't kind of exist anymore in the ways that I dreamed of as a little girl. So I don't know. I mean, it's the landscape has changed so much. I think there's a space for someone like me, but probably not the way that I would have liked.
But it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Go.
As you get older, because I think I was similar. You know, when I was younger and you know, way into my teens, maybe my early 20s, I was very kind of starry-eyed and, you know, had this idea of, you know, the myth of being plucked from obscurity. Yes. And everything handed to you on a plate. And like now, I'm in my 40s. I'm just constantly appreciating what I do have as an artist and aiming for longevity. Like you said about being a legacy artist, like, I mean, I just want to be able to keep doing it until I retire, whatever it looks like, however it changes, just being able to keep doing music.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like I said, I think I even until a couple of years ago, I was sort of trying to compete with these younger artists that are coming up, you know, and I can't do that. I realized that I couldn't, because I didn't grow up in a world of social media. I grew up, you know, where you had to go and take a CD to someone for them to hear you, or you had to gig for someone to come and hear you. And my mind is set in a different way. So while I have to use these tools in order to get my music out and, you know, just to get a little bit of sort of hype going, I have to accept that my target audience is not going to be like the younger crowd kind of thing. But I do have some younger kind of fans, but I find it's mostly 30 and above. I think it's because of the topics I deal with as well, you know, sort of empowerment and never giving up and things like that. That's very deeply rooted in me, and I feel that's probably more connects more to a certain kind of age group who's been kind of, you know, you've been trying something for so many years and you're still going kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, from your viewpoint, do you think how people have consumed music or are consuming music has completely changed? Like the younger generation do seem to just find a song on TikTok now and
I think
maybe forget about it, or
yeah, absolutely. I feel like the mystique behind being an artist or being an actor or whatever it might be has gone, because we have social media and you can literally see what everyone's doing every day. You know, if a song comes out, it's there by the click of a button. You don't have to go and buy it. You don't have to wait for it to come out. And I miss that a little bit. I personally don't stream music. I still have CDs. I still like to buy CDs.
Yeah.
I like to put the CD on and read the inlay and stuff like that. But I mean, that's just my choice. I know a lot of people enjoy streaming or downloading. But I do feel like sort of younger listeners they don't have such an attention span. Like they won't even listen to a whole song a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Especially because of things like TikTok, you get a minute or 30 seconds of a song, you know, or of a video, and that's basically all they've got time for, and then they're moving on to something else.
Yeah, I was going to say something about TikTok then, it's come out of my head. Oh no, this is the attention span thing, there you go. TikTok.
Prime example.
Yeah, there we go, yeah. Goldfish brain. Do you have any other questions, Carol?
Yeah, I'm just interested as well about, because I listen to your music on Spotify. I do stream music, but I also, listen to CDs, and I try and, because the way I make a living is by touring and by selling merch. So I release albums on vinyl and CD, and get T-shirts made and all that kind of thing. So I couldn't find any albums by you. Tell me about that. It seems to be a load of singles, which is I find very intriguing because it's not how I operate. So I'm just interested about how you do it.
All right, so I did actually release an album back in 2007, but it was all uploaded. But back then you couldn't do it yourself so easily. You had to find someone else to upload it for you and stuff like that. And they uploaded it, and I found out they were a little bit dodge, so I asked them to take everything down, which they did. 2 tracks remained on other compilations, which you can still find. So anyway, I did release an album, but as the years went on, I kind of thought, I'm now in a position where I can record at home. I'm an independent artist. I can do what I want. I want to experiment with different genres, and I want to change everything up with every release. So whether it's my appearance or the sound, or and I find that that's worked well for me since Catch 22, which is in 2020. I released a teeny tiny EP of 3 tracks in 2017. Which were all demos, incidentally. They weren't mastered. I just wanted to get some music out. But I feel it just gives me more... I enjoy it more. I like to just switch it up and try different things out while I have the opportunity to do so. Like, no one's telling me what to do or who to work with or what to look like or what to sound like. And I just find it kind of more enjoyable. But I would love to record an album one day. I'd actually really like to re-record the album I released in 2007. But it would be a complete mission, a complete feat, and probably involve a budget that I don't have right now. So one day.
We need that album.
Go for it.
Yeah. But before we wrap up, 2024, what are your plans, goals, anything exciting coming up?
I have one cover single coming. It's recorded. We filmed the video last night. Just a homemade video.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a really kind of obscure song that probably no one's heard of. So that will be coming out. I don't know when, maybe in the next month or so. I've got a song in French that I'm going to be recording that I wrote. And about 3 English songs that I need to record as well. And what I'd really like to do is do something really out of my comfort zone and travel this year. I've never traveled with my music, and I have quite a big fan base in Brazil, and they're always asking me to go there. But I'm scared of flying, so my maximum distance is currently about 5 hours, and so I really want to go there. I want to do something very, very different this year, so we'll see, but that would definitely be a highlight if I can do it.
Yeah, I hope you can. Yeah, sounds like something really exciting if you can do that. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, and please go check out Natalie Miranda's music. She's honestly, like, you're incredible and so talented. So go and do that. And yeah, we'll see you soon, everyone.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. Bye.